Alright everyone, have you heard the name Cody Shearer? You may have, but chances are you probably didn't. Apparently there is a second Trump dirt dossier. Again, some FBI agents were involved in this one too, but a Democratic operative named Cody Shearer was involved in this, the great struggle against evil Trump, I suppose. And going to Eastern Europe and spending months, I guess, backpacking around talking to, like, Russian intel agents and people there trying to get dirt on Donald Trump to compile into a dossier for the DNC. Now, isn't that funny? Because when you think of election interference, when you hear that term, you probably think of, well, Trump is a Russian asset. But it turns out that actually a DNC operative was over there talking to Russians, or trying to, as well as others there to try to get dirt on a political candidate. Isn't that a little bit strange to you? Doesn't that seem problematic? Now, here we've got a revelation. The dossier was actually compiled for the Democrats. Now, this ties in with a different story, apparently. This is even funnier. Where some FBI agents, they went over, apparently some Russian was saying, hey, pay me, I've got stolen cyber weapons, and, you know, you can recover them here. Give me $100,000. And the U.S. intel agencies, I guess, thought it was a good idea to pay him up front. So he gets like $100,000, and then he shows up, and he doesn't even talk about the cyber weapons or anything. He's like, oh, no, I don't have those at the moment. I got dirt on Donald Trump. Here, you should buy that instead. And that they actually had multiple meetings before finally telling him to fuck off, because they realized probably that, you know, nothing he was saying was true. And they warned him to go back to Russia. They're like, you need to get your ass out of here. We're tired of this bullshit. So things are certainly heating up. This ties in with FISA-gate. Here we've got a second dossier. This time it doesn't involve necessarily like fusion. It doesn't involve some former CIA person in a private company that then is working apparently with rogue FBI agents. Now this time it involves a second piece of material that was being separately compiled. This time fully at the behest of the DNC. This time they don't get to say, well, you know, the original op research was being conducted by a right-wing, never Trump sort of firm, so somehow that makes the situation better and less, like, strange. Now, this time it was the DNC itself. The Democratic Party decided to pay this dude to go over, and apparently some of this material also was, like, reviewed by the FBI, like it says in the article, link in the description, of course, archived as well. And that's rather funny. So we've got basically another dossier gate. It's not really FISA-gate. That's almost a separate issue. The actual construction of the dossier themselves is also concerning. The fact that it gets before a FISA court, gets bundled with other apparent evidence for the Carter Page stuff, it's certainly concerning. And the fact that the FISA court exists at all is really the crowning glory of the post-9/11 police state achievement. The fact that all of this surveillance is conducted at such a massive scale. I know the FISA system predates it, but such a massive scale with so many agencies sharing so much data and collecting so much data. The fact that they've gotten away with it now for years and they don't even really face any particular public outrage for this stuff existing. They have everything on everybody and nobody even cares. It's like the funniest shit ever. It couldn't be more funny. And then we have the DNC directly attempting to contact people who are not in the United States for dirt to put in their dossier, their attack dossier for Donald Trump. So you were working with so the Democratic Party, let me get this straight, let me see if I understand this. The Democratic Party was colluding with foreign individuals, intel agents or spy, whatever they happen to be, in order to fuck around with the election system. Well, yeah, okay, I guess the Russians did influence the election. They did it by dropping a bunch of bullshit about Trump that wasn't even true and hoping that it would get injected into public discourse because the DNC were the ones buying it in the first place. So they did interfere in our election, but they were on the side of the Democrats. Really, though, if the Russians interfered at all, and in the sense of rigging voting machines or propaganda bots, it's either it didn't happen or it's just normal electioneering stuff. Like, our bots do the same thing in the Russian elections. Don't let them fool you. That's normal. It also doesn't change many minds. I'm surprised it's still even done. It's cheap, but it doesn't do much. Really, what you had was grassroots movement. We've got a strange situation in which, you know, any collusion that did occur, it seems to have involved the Clinton campaign and the DNC. Taking foreign money through the Clinton Foundation. Straw man purchases, you know, could they have involved foreign payments? We'll never even know, probably, because of the weird bookkeeping practices of the Clinton family. So, yeah, they get Russian money, apparently. You know, Uranium-1 goes through, and we got Fusion GPS. We've got Shearer, he was running around talking to Russians. So we've got multiple instances where foreign individuals, especially Russians, possibly British as well, were attempting to do things with the Democratic Party. Where exactly is the evidence? I don't have any evidence yet. Mueller hasn't given me any that Trump did anything wrong. But I have all of this weird shit going on with the DNC and with the Clinton campaign that all points to them being scuzzballs and taking foreign intel that, you know, it's not like the intel seems to have been real. That's the one funniest thing about it, is it looks like basically all the dirt that they had on Trump was fake to begin with. Could that not have triggered a wider investigation into equally fake dirt? That the Mueller probe is literally, that Mueller at this point, he's like, well, oh, crap. Well, you know, this entire probe is a farce and I'm not going to find anything, but I got to make it look like I'm properly conducting it because of the political climate. Because if I don't, I'll have every liberal in the country jumping down my throat. They'll be calling, that I'll need to get kicked out. They'll be threatening me. It'll be terrible. And by the way, Mueller probably, he doesn't even have he probably doesn't even believe Trump will be reelected, so he wants to play nice with the left, I think. Honestly, I would tell you that's probably what he's doing. I think he's wrong, but it's probably his logic. He's paying attention to CNN. Well, then why would he think that Trump would be... He's probably expecting the Democrats to have a supermajority in the Senate in another year. So it's going to be funny to see what happens there. Cody Shearer is DNC Operative. He's running around in Eastern Europe talking to a bunch of Russians that are trying to give him material for Dossier. Literally in contact with foreign sources. Only a lot of people don't even know that it happened. Like it's not like the FISA memo that was trending, you know, briefly before they shut it down. That went very viral for a couple of days, and now people have kind of forgotten about it, which is, I think, quite sad. It's a testament to people's short attention spans. This one, it'll be like, oh, it's another nothing burger. Don't worry. It's totally normal for political campaigns to try to get dirt on their opponents by sending agents overseas to talk to people who may be espionage agents. That's normal. There's nothing wrong here. It's perfectly fine. You know, Trump taking money 10 years ago from a Russian investor, that's the real crime. Back when he was a private citizen, Russians gave him money to build skyscrapers and casinos and expecting a return. That means he's compromised, but Hillary Clinton's not compromised by any of the money she got from foreign donors. The DNC isn't compromised by having contact with foreign espionage agents, including the dude from the Fusion Dossier. Wasn't he working for British Intel beforehand? And wasn't it his wife or somebody's wife heading Fusion as a former CIA agent? It begins to look a little bit strange. At some point, people have got to say, what the hell actually went on here? We may never know, but we can speculate. We can certainly say something shifty was going on. And it doesn't appear to have involved Trump beyond people trying to screw him over. That's, I think, another funny thing about it. It seems like everyone but Trump were the slimy ones. That includes people working for Trump, by the way. It includes Flynn and Manafort, but it doesn't extend to him. It involves the slime that they got on them. Involved transactions from 10 years before, money laundering involving Tony Podesta, or involving improper contact with the Turks. Not with Russia, but with the Turkish government years ago. It seems that Russia had no involvement with Trump. It seems that I think there's one aside. We do have to keep this in mind. Did not a Russian agent attempt to give dirt to, I think it was Jared Kushner at the time? Probably did. Absolutely, probably did. Of course, that person has DNC ties apparently too, so it looks like an even wider part of their same op research. Maybe they were trying to give it over to him so that they could, can the administration if they won, or so they could take him out if they made the payment. Basically, oh, here, we've got dirt on your opponent. Here, give me $10 so that I can, take this recording and I can put it on national TV to destroy your campaign. The Democrats would probably do something like that as well, only no payment was given, and they apparently never solicited that individual further. Very wise move, since I think that person was, I can't remember her name, wasn't she photographed, sitting behind Bill Clinton or something? Or at a DNC meeting? Not a big surprise. Not a big surprise at all. This is slime. This is politics. It's Washington, D.C., but for Cody Shearer to be running around for months in Eastern Europe is... I can't think of anything funnier than this. The DNC's hiring people to go talk to foreign agents while it's saying foreign agents are influencing Donald Trump. So what would have happened if the Clinton camp and the DNC were in communication with these people. Wouldn't that mean that if Clinton had won, she would have been compromised by foreign individuals? You know, but maybe because she can be blackmailed, she broke the law, or she can be bribed, you know, to pay us money, or we'll pay you money. You know, I've got an oligarch friend who can really make the Clinton Foundation do some wonderful things over in Haiti. You know, I know you won't, and you'll embezzle it, but you can do it on paper. It'll look really good. Don't worry about it. Just trust us. It's sort of the way